and welcome. I'm Logan Sella, and for the first time in 48 days, this is Meridian News Now. It's great to have you with us, and we have quite the show for you today. Let's start on a good note with today's top story. As of Tuesday, June 22nd, Michigan is now open at full capacity, both indoors and out, and the state will no longer require residents to wear a mask. According to the press from Governor Gretchen Whitmer's office, she said, "Today is a great day we have all been waiting for, as we can safely get back to normal day-to-day activities and move forward together." The day also began the start of the administration's economic jumpstart plan, surplusing $3.5 billion into the economy. For more information on the plan can be found on our website. As business begin to fully reopen, though, many are discovering it is more difficult than before to find employees. HOMTV's Lucy Van Regenmorter has more.
Across Ingham County, now hiring signs have seemingly sprung up on every corner, with some establishments even closing early due to understaffing.
I have to work more shifts, I have to work longer shifts, and even while I'm working the shifts, there's more things to do because we don't have enough people.
Michigan's seasonally adjusted jobless rate inched up by 1/10 of a percentage point during May to 5.0%.
We are starting to see some more movement with candidates reaching out and responding and starting to interview. But I think it's going to take a while, certainly, to get us back to where we were at with levels pre-COVID.
COVID safety is still a concern for many.
We also know that a lot of people are still feeling some level of insecurity about returning to the workforce because of the COVID pandemic. So we know from the employers and the job seekers both that we're working with that that's a critical part of helping people feel comfortable and safe re-engaging, is to understand what employers' protocols look like and what safety procedures they have in place to make sure that people are helped to feel comfortable as they are looking at those employment opportunities again.
Because sometimes
Michigan Works Business Services have been working directly with employers across all different industries and really helping them to look at, what are the practices that they had in place before COVID? What have they been doing during COVID to engage people in a different way? And what are their plans moving forward?
For help finding a job or qualified employees, visit the nearest Michigan Works. In Meridian Township and across the country, houses have been flying off the market, well over their market value. Wonder why? Our own Elena Cousineau has some answers for you.
The housing market is booming right now. With a decrease in inventory and an increase in potential buyers, houses like this behind me are going for well over asking price.
It's a great market for both the sellers and buyers. And in place like Okemos, where people want to come and live because of the school system, there are not enough houses and there is not enough land to build new houses. A good house priced well sells for the full asking price or anywhere between 3 to 10% more than asking price.
You have to be really quick now trying to find a home because the homes are scarce and buyers, they want certain things and there's just not a lot on the market.
With ups and downs, the housing market seems to be at the summit for sellers.
I would suggest to the buyers just to keep their faith. The house will come around and it will be the one that's meant just for them. Sellers, on the other hand, are not having any problem. It's the best time right now. Interest rates are low and it's the best time to put their house on the market. They'll have no problem whatsoever trying to sell it.
For HOMTV, I'm Elena Cousineau.
Modi also said the market is not likely to crash from the high prices due to the fact that demand is so high as well. So right now could be the perfect time to buy, sell, or just look for a new home. The Meridian Township Board voted unanimously to approve a resolution in support of Pride Month. Trustee Courtney Wazinski spoke on the importance of passing this resolution.
Continue to fight to make sure that our LGBTQ neighbors feel safe and valued. I've witnessed multiple occasions where safety is a concern, discrimination is a concern, and even violence, and that's solely based on who you love. We should all fight to love anyone, to love our neighbors, and to be ourselves and be proud. So thank you, Clerk.
With Pride Month still in full swing, residents throughout the state can look forward to a multitude of events for now and in the future. To honor and celebrate this new national holiday, Meridian Township put on their first ever Juneteenth Freedom Fest, celebrating local businesses. Our own Rachel Ramsey spoke with neighborhoods and economic development director Amber Clark and members of the community to find out how this event came to be.
The Juneteenth Freedom Fest is a new event in Meridian Township to celebrate our new national holiday, Juneteenth.
I'm Rachel Rand, and I am currently here at one of the local businesses involved in the Juneteenth Freedom Fest celebration. Freedom Fest includes an all-inclusive, age-friendly, ability-friendly activity for everybody in our community. At least 30 community businesses have donated gift cards to be hidden in local establishments or public spaces within Meridian Township. We're inviting anyone to go and look for these wonderful gifts, and anyone who finds them can keep them. We're encouraging members to post the images of them.
There was a small technical error, so just apologize.
It looks like there is a small technical error. We apologize for the difficulties. This is the first year Juneteenth has been declared a national holiday, and thus the first year of the Freedom Fest. As the recognition of Juneteenth continues, township officials hope the Meridian Business Freedom Fest will grow next year and beyond. A special use permit caused the issue of precedent to be raised during the Meridian Township Planning Commission on June 14th. Our Elena Cugino went and talked to the resident who filed this permit.
Hello everyone, I'm Elena Cugino with HOMTV, and today I am here on Nakoma Drive, where one special use permit caused controversy during the Meridian Township Planning Commission meeting on June 15th. I had the pleasure of speaking to resident Stacy Guthrie, the one who filed the permit.
The way that it impacted me was my mortgage and the flood insurance. So I went from owning the home, and we just always kept flood insurance on it, which was $500 a year for flood zone X, to AE, which went up to $1,200 a year, which increased my mortgage by almost $200 a month. So it would have been made it a little difficult as a single mom trying to make it and keep my son in the school district. So I kind of started looking into how to get out of the flood zone.
Guthrie hopes that the Planning Commission and other bodies of government will take a step back and reapproach how to make this process easier for residents. Meridian Township recently welcomed Tim Schmidt, the new Community Planning and Development Director. The hiring process for the new director began in May after former Director Mark Kieselbach announced his retirement from the position after serving 41 years with the township. We had the opportunity to sit down with Director Schmidt and talk about his new role. Here's what he had to say.
My role, any place I've ever been as a planner or community developer, is to make sure that we are getting public input in what we do. Meridian Township will start a 5-year master plan update probably late next year. And so as part of that, we will be analyzing what needs to be updated and what input we need and what needs to change. And it is probably the most important thing that people can be involved with in a community, because that's the long-term vision for the community.
Director Schmidt previously served as the Community Development Director for the City of Howell, and prior to that he worked for the City of East Lansing. From everyone here at HOMTV, welcome to Meridian, Tim. Since mid-May, Consumers Energy has been working to replace and upgrade vintage 1950s steel main lines, which can no longer be used. Consumers replaced the vintage steel lines with new and durable plastic lines throughout the township. Nearly 6,000 feet of natural gas main line and more than 80 natural gas service lines to individual customers were replaced in 3 main locations throughout the township, which included Oakwood Road, Tomahawk Road, and Lagoon Wassaw Drive. The project was coordinated with the township to take place before their street paving work began and was finished by June 20th. In other news, Meridian Township has lifted the burn ban for residents. Residents may resume normal burning following the guidelines of their own permits and are urged to use caution when doing so, especially as dry conditions are expected to continue throughout the summer months. As a friendly reminder from the Meridian Township Fire Department, burning is only allowed with a permit. The township offers recreational fire pit permits and rural residential burning permits. That information can be found on the township website. Just in case though, the Meridian Township Fire Department purchased a new ATV to get ahead of fires and bring more residents to safety. Township Chief Mike Hamill has more. The ATV will be used on all trails and parks in the township. It will also be used for areas where township residents would have to be carried out by hand. The ATV has the ability to load people on the back of the vehicle and to transport them to an ambulance. The ultimate goal of the ATV is to protect residents from injuries on and off the road, as well as stopping any fires in the township. Here is information from Fire Chief Mike Hamill.
We had a tremendous amount of fires in the township as well as countywide where we had to use a lot of resources. Our last big one, we had every fire department in the county came to the fire, including the DNR. So I talked to Frank Walsh, the township manager, and suggested that we look at purchasing an ATV so we can kind of get ahead of a fire. As well as the benefit for this when it's built out is we'll be able to use it on all of our trails as well as our parks and even into areas that people go that we would have to carry them out by hand. We will have the ability to actually load them on the back of this and transport them to our ambulance. So the ultimate goal here is to protect us from injuries off-road as well as any type of brush fire, field fires, or forest fires to get a jump on it.
The fire department is still working on getting the ATV ready for use. And continuing with the township's fire department, from June 15th to 17th, the Meridian firefighters participated in an annual trench rescue training. The East Lansing Fire Department conducted the training with their metro partners, which includes the City of Lansing, Meridian Township, Delhi Township, and Delta Township. Firefighters not only fought fires, but they also conducted trench rescue, collapse rescue, high-angle rescue, and structural rescue. In a trench rescue, it is imperative that not only the victims are safe, but also the rescuers. The whole process relies heavily on personnel.
Typically, you see an event like this, it could be just a farmer digging in his field with an excavator. It could be consumers' energy, working on a gas line, the water department, fixing a water main break. It's a low frequency but high risk event.
Last year, due to COVID-19, the training couldn't take place. So this year, the fire department is happy to get back to training and working together in 2021. On June 17th, Detective Mike Hagbaum was promoted to sergeant. Hagbaum has been working for the Meridian Township Police Department for almost 8 full years. When asked how it feels to be promoted sergeant, Hagbaum had this to say.
It feels great. Really excited about it. You know, it's a lot of new challenges, but something I've kind of trained for and planned for my career, so I'm glad I finally reached that goal.
Sergeant Hagbaum was joined in person by his father, wife, and 2 sons, while other family and friends were able to watch via Zoom. Starting Saturday morning and going into the evening, members of the community gather at the farmers market to talk, buy, and sell goods. On June 19th, the Meridian Green Team was at the market as well, trying to inform the public about keeping the environment clean. With a recycling bin ready to collect styrofoam and a table full of flyers, the team was eager to talk about recycling and microplastics.
The Meridian Green Team has been helping with recycling events for over a decade, and it's volunteers mostly from the community who help staff our recycling events. Today we're giving out information not just about recycling, but about ways you can protect your water, ways you can save energy, reduce waste, reduce pollution, things like that. And we're also...
The Green Team has more events planned for the future as well. Those events can be found on the Meridian Township website. Let's stay green, shall we? On June 16th, the Meridian Township Parks and Recreation Department hosted their annual Love a Park Day. Love a Park Day was created years ago by Meridian Township's treasurer, Phil Deshane, and has been a volunteer opportunity for the community to come together. Volunteers had the option to go to a variety of parks, including Ferguson, Hartrick, Hillbrook, Nancy Moore, Orlando, or Wanch Park. Each location provided the volunteers with tools to help with picking up litter, planting flowers, or spreading mulch. People of all ages showed up to do their part in helping the environment. Parks and Recreation Director Lou Ann Maisner talked about the importance of Love a Park Day.
You know, the Meridian Township Parks Department, Parks and Recreation Department relies heavily on volunteers, and every spring everything seems to happen. It's time for softball and soccer, and and people are running pavilions, and a lot of people are out in our parks. And so Love a Park Day was created about 8 or 10 years ago, and it's an event that happens every spring. And we invite service groups and just community members to come out and help us to put the final touches, the fine touches on our parks. And so today we're just going to be looking at picking up trash, mulching around the tree rings, planting some flowers at our park signs. It's just those nice extra things that our regular maintenance staff just doesn't have the time to get to. But it's those fine touches that really add the charm to our parks.
Last week may have been Love a Park Day, but the Township's Parks and Recreation Department reminds residents that you can do your part to love local parks every day of the week. The Okemos Climate Club in Meridian Township have partnered with Relief Michigan, a nonprofit organization, to plant trees at Central Park South on June 18th. The purpose of the event was to add 13 native trees around the park and increase the beauty and shade in Meridian Township. Relief Michigan oversaw the event and had their tree expert Paul Swartz, a retired Michigan State University arborist, demonstrate how to properly plant a tree. Ashley Locks, a project forester for Relief Michigan, has worked with the Okemos Climate Club since the spring and had this to say.
They've been a pleasure to work with. Really impressive for a group of young kids to come together and pull off a planting like this. I worked with them very closely to get this organized, and so they were involved in each step of the process. So a big thank you to them, a big thank you to Relief Michigan sponsors who allow us to come out and do these plantings too. There's a lot that goes into it, from getting tools and volunteers out to help plant the trees. A thanks to Paul Schwartz, Michigan State retired arborist, for coming out and helping us out today.
If you would like more information about future tree planting events in Meridian Township, call Meridian Township's Parks and Land Preservation Superintendent, Katie Adams, at 517-853-4616. We move from the outdoors to in. On June 1st, the Capital Area District Libraries, also known as CADL, were finally open to in-person browsing with restrictions. But since June 22nd, visitors are able to browse without time limits or masks. We spoke with Executive Director Scott Duemstra at the beginning of June to learn about the reopening.
For our Okemos branch, they did one of the best reopenings. They had a group of people waiting outside the door on June 1st, ready to come in. So they had the Rocky theme playing for people walking in the door. They had staff welcome everyone, clapping, kind of welcome back into our space. And so we just had really fun stuff like that. And one of the things that we've kind of been preaching in all of our promotions about in-person browsing is to just be nice, be kind. You know, we're still under mask mandates unless you fall under 3 exceptions. We're under capacity limits we can only be at 50% capacity. So just if staff talk to you about that, just be kind back. And that's what we've seen. We've just seen people who truly love the library and want to come back in the library. And it's been nothing but a positive experience a week later.
People are now able to visit the library with lifted restrictions. They can even study and lounge on the furniture while reading. However, meeting rooms will not be open until the fall. To learn more about Capital Area District Libraries, you can visit their website below. Even though it's summertime, we'll stay hitting the books. The Hazlitt Public Schools Board of Education is seeking applicants to fill a trustee vacancy. The person appointed will fill the vacancy through the November 2022 election cycle, completing the term through December of 2024. Applicants must be of 18 years or older and residents of the Hazlitt District. Information to apply can be found on the Hazlitt School District website. Anybody hungry? Cheesy Ds Delis and Dogs was announced as the 2020 New Business of the Year. The award was presented by the Meridian Township Economic Development Corporation, as well as the Meridian Area Business Association, also known as MABA. Cheesy D's was nominated by the EDC and the MABA for their communal approach to a break-in at their establishment. Instead of pressing charges, they decided to help people in the community by providing free drinks, food, and clothing to those in need. Our own Catherine Weddle had the opportunity to speak with Cheesy D's owner Denny Emmer about their friendly actions.
It was a tough time. Last September was a tough time. And there's no reason it wasn't a violent crime or a hate crime or like that. I think it was a crime out of desperation. And sometimes when I don't know. I've never been in that position, so I wouldn't know. I don't know what I would do. If maybe I had to feed my family or I had to pay rent or whatever, who knows? But it just wasn't enough for me to be angry anymore. And I called Colby, the officer, later this afternoon, and we just let him know that if something came up, it wasn't a big deal.
Congratulations to Cheesy D's. The full interview with Emmer can be found on our website. Let's speed things up a little. High Caliber Karting was named the Established Business of the Year in Meridian Township, also presented by the Township EDC and MABA. I got to speak with co-founder and president Jordan Munsters about the award earlier this month. Take a listen. I mean, I guess, is this kind of what you envisioned when you started High Caliber?
Not even a little bit. No, so when we first started High Caliber, actually for me, it was kind of like, you know, we'll have tires for barriers and we'll just stick a go-kart track in here. And I remember meeting with the mall and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do this go-kart track and stuff. They're like, yeah, we're on board. This is what we expect. And they threw out pictures of like the Bellagio of go-kart tracks. I'm like, totally, that's exactly what we had in mind too. And I remember walking out of that meeting with one of my partners. I looked at him and I went, what are we going to do? What did we just promise?
I do it all around here. Congratulations to both Cheesy D's and High Caliber for these great accomplishments. We go from go-karts to golf. The Hazlitt Okemos Rotary Club hosted their 31st annual golf outing Monday, June 21st. The event took place at the Meridian Sun Golf Club and was organized to support charitable causes locally and worldwide. The event began with breakfast, then moved to an 18-hole scramble. 19 teams were involved this year and played to support charitable causes. A 50-50 raffle was held after the golfers returned, and prizes were handed out for the biggest accomplishments of the day. President of the Hazlitt Okemos Rotary Club, Marna Wilson, spoke about the golf event.
The Hazlitt Okemos annual golf outing, of which this is the 31st outing, is a project that we do every year as one of our two major fundraisers in Meridian Township. And at this golf outing, the dollars that we collect from our golfers and also from our sponsors go to fund charitable projects within Meridian Township.
The Hazlitt Okemos Rotary Club works as a nonprofit organization, partnering with sponsors to help the community. The club has funded the Harris Nature Center Gathering Circle, reading rooms at both Okemos and Hazlitt libraries, the marketplace on the Green Pavilion, and more. The Lake Lansing Bandshell is open for the summer for a concert series after a long break due to COVID-19. The first performance back was on June 4th, and many community members came to support. Our Rachel Ramsey takes us there.
I'm Rachel Ramsey, and I am currently here at the Lake Lansing Bandshell, where later tonight, a summer tradition for local residents will begin. The Bandshell has been putting on this tradition for 18 years. I sat down with Angus McIntosh, the president, to discuss the Bandshell's summer plans.
The Lake Lansing Bandshell is a Friday night concert series that's family friendly. It's open to the public. It's free at parking, free admission. We bring in a different genre of music every week between the months of June and August. The playground in the park, bring the family out, throw down a blanket, some camp chairs, bring the kids. It's a very fun, free evening to bring the family to every Friday but during the summer.
McIntosh has been the chairperson for the performance committee for 17 years, working with sponsors to help put on these events. Last year's COVID-19 pandemic caused a huge roadblock.
Well, we were all set to go. Got the call in first part of April that the season was off. Pretty much we had brought Graywall Law on board as a corporate sponsor. We had all the bands lined up. Everybody was ready to rock and roll, and then I had to pull the plug. And then this year we were waiting for the call. The beginning of the season we were looking at restricted attendance and maybe some social distancing, but since the governor's loosened everything up, it's worked in our favor. So it's an open air event. Come on out, people social distance, put their blankets and chairs down, and hey, dance. We want you to dance.
In Meridian Township for HOMTV, I'm Rachel Ramsey.
After a year away, the Lake Lansing Bandshell offers the community entertainment every Friday night for free. That's all we have for you today. Thanks again for joining us on Meridian News Now. Remember, you can stay up to date with Township News by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course, HOMTV.net. I'm Logan Sella. Thanks for watching and have a great day.